the breath. Now, I'll admit it doesn't seem very interesting on a surface level. I mean, we keep breathing in and out all day and all night, regardless if we care about it or not. It just works. At the same time, we know that if we stop being able to breathe for a few minutes, we cannot continue to live. Still, this doesn't seem to make us pay a lot of attention to the breath. Except perhaps when there is a struggle to breathe. It seems to me that it's perhaps only when we want to transcend our body and our mind that we become more interested in our breath in a more continuous way. Perhaps the word transcend isn't always used. It can also be more that there is a lot of suffering and we want to get out. We suffer our mind and our body. Or we have this sense that there must be something more. And we realize that this body-mind activities, no matter how hard we try, never fully fulfills us, never feel complete. Then we might turn to our breath. Or in most cases, someone points us in the direction. Let's try a little experiment. I want you to, together with me, to raise your shoulders very quickly. Like so. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I did it, I gasped for air. Let's try it one more time, but this time we first pay attention to our breathing. So please direct your attention to your own breathing. And then raise your shoulders while you maintain your breath awareness. For me, this time, I didn't breathe in quite as quickly, and I kept breathing with my nose instead of gasping with my mouth. Let's experience a little more. Return your attention to your breathing. And maybe this time you can move your shoulders a little slower. And then more quickly. So what is going on here? What can we see? Well, at first, it may have seemed, if we only did the experiment once, that the body controls our breathing. That when we raise the shoulders, we immediately breathe in a certain way. But when we pay attention to the breathing, it's not as certain. And it seems like it's not necessary that the movement forces you to breathe in a certain way. Let's try another experiment, a similar one, but we go into the mental. Try to spook yourself mentally and act it out. For me, it's like a bright light, a sort of deer in a headlight situation. Now, please return your attention to your breathing. And you can probably bring forth a similar spooking mental picture without reacting to it. Thirdly, we can also, of course, just gasp. We're starting with our breathing. So a normal scientific question, perhaps, would be, what comes first? Well, here it seems to me that maybe it's not the best question what comes first, because everything seems to be connected. And I can give my attention to one, and the other will be affected. But one thing is interesting to me, that when I pay attention to my breathing and then move or then think, do I become, or do you become, more or less aware of what is going on? For example, your shoulders, if you focus on your breath, do you become more or less aware of what is going on inside your body? For me, it's definitely more. It becomes a broadened sense of awareness. And very importantly, I am not being controlled, at least not fully, by my mental pictures or my body movements. So this is a little controlled example. But how often do we find ourselves in situations where we act as slaves to our state of mind or our body's perhaps desires? With breath awareness, I want to invite you to, if it feels good for you, to explore out in the wild, to maintain your breath awareness, attention on the breath, and see where are you being controlled and just reactive to what you think or what you feel or do. And perhaps with this awareness, and maybe with a couple of practice runs, maybe at first you will just react. Maybe then you can start to untangle and see if it's really necessary, and then get a choice to respond. There is a lot of power here to be reclaimed. I have two examples. One more physical. Let's say we want to step on or walk over hot coal. Now a reaction would be to withdraw if we touch the hot coal, which I'm not saying is a bad idea, but many have proven that you can walk on hot coal, and I'm pretty certain that all, or at least most, are very aware of their breathing while they do it, and managing to not react to the hot coal while they walk. I mean, obviously, because they continue to walk. So there is so much more we can accomplish when we are not instantly reactive to our surrounding. Of course, sometimes it's very good to have fast reflexes too. It's about realizing when it's helping us and when it's not. Another example can be when talking to your partner, for example, and every time she brings up a topic you don't like, and you react maybe the same way every time, with a bit of awareness of your breath, maybe you can find a different way to respond. Or you can respond in the same way, but it can be your choice. When paying attention to our breath and becoming aware of our surroundings, both inner and outer. Let's stay with the inner for a while. And you might become aware of a sense of space in between your body movement or your emotions, or your body and your awareness. The same with thoughts. When we, in the experiment, focus on our breathing and then bring up the image, is there a sense of space there in between your awareness and the thinking? And this is really what I mean by transcending our body and mind. That we realize we are not bound by it. Even though we may be bound to it through our breath, we are connected. but not limited.